What is a donor-advised fund? Or sometimes you hear it called a DAF, D-A-F, that's short for Donor Advised Fund. Well, it is a tool that we use a lot in our practice to assist clients with their planned giving. So planned giving is giving that you want to do in the future or at death. So, let's say that you maybe just sold a piece of property or an asset, or maybe you got a large inheritance. Whatever it is, you came into, maybe you got a big bonus at work. You come into a good sum of money, and you want to be faithful with that. You don't want to hold on to the money that you know that you are asked to give back into the kingdom, but maybe you are unsure about where the Lord wants you to give it. Well, you can carve out your tithe or your piece of that. You can put it into a donor-advised account, and you can advise gifts from that fund as you are led. So another use that you can, a reason that you might consider a donor-advised fund is, let's say that you're thinking about your estate. What are you going to do with all of the stuff that God has given you when you go home to be with Him and you don't need it anymore? Well, I think it's good wisdom to ask the Lord what He wants done with it. But you can create kind of your own personal family foundation through the use of a donor-advised fund. I'm sure that you've heard of things like the Clinton Foundation and the Gates Foundation and the Soros Foundation and, all of those big foundations that are responsible for so much good philanthropic work in the world. Saying that jokingly. I think a lot of the things that those particular foundations fund are not light, but darkness. So what can we do to push back against that? One of the tools that we can use is a donor-advised fund. It is a fairly cheap and easy way to set up your own sort of family foundation, and it all starts in your heart. It starts that we should all give as we have determined in our heart. So all you really do is you open a certain type of account, a donor-advised account, with what's called a public charity that offers those types of accounts. You fund it, and then you give advice to the public charity about where you want that money to be distributed, either during your life and or at death. You do have to make some gifts while you are alive too. So here are some of the benefits for that. You can fund your donor-advised funds in various ways. You can give good old hard-fashioned cold hard cash. You can gift securities. So if you have securities that you have in a non-qualified type of account, maybe you've had them for a long time and they have great gains in them, and if you sell them, you would be subject to capital gains tax. Well, instead of taking that, selling them and getting the capital gains tax, paying that part to the government, you could gift those securities into a donor-advised fund. You can also gift things like real estate and some types of businesses into the donor-advised fund. And then you get to advise how much the funds give and where they give to. So notice I'm using the word advise. Once you make the gift into the donor-advised fund, it is an irrevocable gift. You can't get it back, and your family can't benefit from the grants or distributions made from it. So you can say, I would like money to go to my church, or money to go to financial issues, or money to go to the Family Research Council, or wherever you are most inclined to give. But the organization has the say on whether they take that advice from you or not. You can also make advice on how the fund is managed. So, of course, if you're following a biblically responsible investment strategy, you want to do that in all your accounts. And so you want to find out how much of your advice is taken by the public charity that you choose. Another benefit is that you also get a tax deduction. So you can if you have a tax problem in any given year, or maybe you're trying to move money from your IRA into a non-qualified account because you agree with us that taxes are probably going to be higher in the future than what they are today, and you want to try to be tax efficient and give Uncle Sam as little as possible because they are not good stewards with it. You can sort of front load your giving. Let's say that you want to look at your giving for the next 5 years, and maybe over the next 5 years you plan on giving $100,000, but you don't know where you want it to go right now. You can set that money aside in the donor advised fund and then distribute it as the Lord gives you direction. So the tax deduction is anywhere from 20 to 60%, or it's a full deduction up to 20 to 60% of your AGI. So there are limits. It depends on how much income that you have. You can't write off more charitable deductions than what your income is. You can't wipe out all your income. So you may need some tax guidance on how to structure that properly. But you can also, you have 5 years, the current year plus 5 more future years to use up those tax deductions. So the tax deduction also depends on how it is funded. If you fund with cash, you get a bigger limit. If you fund with appreciated securities, because you're going to save money on the capital gains, then you get a lower limit, but you still have that 5 years to use it up. So some cautions if you're going to be looking at doing a donor advised account: be careful who you get yoked with as the public charity, because they have the power to approve or deny your advice for grants. And you have to consider who will manage the funds. Do you get to self-direct, or does your advisor get to self-direct, or does it go into the pool that is managed by the public charity? I would think that you would want to remain biblically responsible there. You also just have to take all of those things into consideration, but it's a great tool to use.